Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit more shorter-term technical analysis on Bitcoin because, as you guys probably already know, in the last 24 hours or so, Bitcoin has continued its fall. Right now, we're trading just above $7,000, trying to hold that as support. Guys, the bearish momentum over the last week has continued to pick up, and in today's video, we need to dive into the question: how far is Bitcoin going to go to the downside? Is $6,000 still in the options? And seriously, just where is the bottom? This is getting a little old. As we can see here on the chart, guys, Bitcoin tried to hold $7,600 yesterday. Clearly, it failed, and overnight, we have capitulated all the way down to below $7,200, which means we've set a lower low compared to what we had set back over here at the end of October. Not a good sign. Definitely not something we wanted to see. But nevertheless, that is what happened, so that's what we have to analyze. I think we've got a great video lined up for you today, so if you guys do enjoy today's video, there's a few things I'd ask you to do. First of all, if you're new here, consider subscribing. We do daily cryptocurrency content. You can make that decision after the video if you'd like. And also, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, guys, it really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I'll wait, it's just, thank you. Okay, now we can continue. But anyway, guys, like I was saying, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Bitcoin. Well, guys, over the last couple of days, Bitcoin has been continuing to get more and more bearish. It all becomes clear what's going on in the market, guys. Bitcoin initially decided that it was going to go bearish right over here about 4 or 5 days ago on the 18th of November when we broke to the downside. Now, we only fell to $8,000, and that was a good sign. The thing that I warned you guys about back then, if you go back and watch this video right here, we talked about the potential of a sub $8,000 Bitcoin. The reason for that was because on the chart, Bitcoin fell to $8,000 and only bounced up to 8.2 instead of all the way up to 8.4. Since Bitcoin did that, it was very clear that the bears were still the stronger faction and that they were still in control of the market. As you guys will know from the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, the stronger faction is the one that's going to move the market. And if you can determine which faction is stronger, you can have a pretty good understanding of which direction that trend is going to continue or if that trend is going to reverse. And clearly the bearish trend was to continue because of this. Furthermore, Bitcoin tried to break bullish out of this bear pennant and failed. It broke bearish and fell below $8,000. And right around the time it fell below 7.7, which is exactly what we talked about in yesterday's video, that's when all hell started breaking loose. I told you guys that in this zone, Bitcoin is still sitting above support, but if Bitcoin starts to fall below $7,700, that's where things are going to start to get interesting. And lo and behold, that's what happened. Bitcoin fell all the way down to $7,359 yesterday. Bounced up to 7.7, and then we fell all the way down to $6,928, guys. That's the first time Bitcoin's price action has started with a 6 in about 6 months. So where does that leave us, guys? Well, there's a lot that we need to unpack here in today's video because this is a very big development, actually. Now, the first thing I want to mention, guys, is that it's not one to get worked up over. Every move in Bitcoin, every move in cryptocurrency is simply an opportunity. If you look at it through that lens, then you're going to find yourself getting emotional much less often. There's no reason to get worked up. I'm not saying that there isn't potentially a cause that might get you worked up. I'm saying that getting worked up isn't going to solve anything. Getting emotional isn't going to solve anything. Getting scared, it's not going to solve anything. Tell you what will solve something, though: using your head and thinking clearly and understanding the markets and being prepared for what might happen next. So with that said, let's analyze these markets. The first thing that we need to understand is that Bitcoin is below all of its longer-term moving averages on the daily chart. Bitcoin's below the 200, it's below the 50, it's below the 20 EMA, it's below the 100, it's below the 20 SMA, if you even care about that one. It's below the 200 EMA as well. It's below all of the exponential moving averages, below all of the simple moving averages that are of real import on the daily chart. The weekly chart, however, is slightly different. Even though Bitcoin is below the 20 EMA, which is the very important moving average that kind of determines when you're in a bull or a bear market, we're definitely moving into a short-term bear market. We have been for a while. We're still above one critical level of support that I don't see us breaking anytime soon, and it's right here, $4,800. I don't see Bitcoin going any lower than that. The reason for that is because if we go onto our longest term chart on BLX, you will notice that never once in the history of Bitcoin have we ever broken below the 200 weekly simple moving average. The only time that you will see me getting concerned about this market is if that happens, which I think is extremely unlikely. If that happens, then that would be cause for concern. Anything before that, I don't frankly really care all that much. If Bitcoin continues heading to the downside, so what? I'll buy your Bitcoin if you want to panic sell. I'm more than happy to buy it at a hugely discounted price. Seriously, we get more opportunities to buy below $8,000. I'm in. Guys, the fundamentals for Bitcoin are fine. Remember that. Nothing's changed in Bitcoin over the last 12 months, and in the last 12 months, we ran to $14,000. What's to say we can't do it again? Nevertheless, I'm getting off on a tangent. The point is that Bitcoin is below most of its critical levels of support. We are now below $7,200, so Fibonacci is not going to be very useful to us. Now we need to look at our VPVR, and we need to look at previous levels of support. And what that is going to show us is a very clear level of support at $6,400. We can see that VPVR climax right here. If there's any level that I think Bitcoin will probably head to at this point, it's either going to be $6,400 or it's going to be a level of its own choosing. And the latter is very possible, guys. $6,000 at one point was just an arbitrary number, and Bitcoin established that because that's where Bitcoin could only pull back to. It couldn't pull back any farther, so we used that and built market structure there. It's possible we do the same thing here, but honestly, guys, I'm kind of expecting Bitcoin to pull back to $6,400 to $6,000 in the next 3 days now. The reason being, like I said, this has a lot to do with the strength of the bulls and the bears. The bulls were not very far behind back here, but as we talked about in a video a couple of days ago, I think it was also this video, I mentioned how when the bears are a little bit stronger, if they break a level of support and they kind of prove to everyone that they are in fact the ones in charge, then they can get a lot more strength behind them. And since we broke $8,000, it vindicated the bears, it gave them strength, and they got a lot stronger. You'll notice that the downtrends ever since we broke $8,000 have been much steeper than before then. It's because the bears have been vindicated, it's because they've been proven to be the stronger faction, and because they are the stronger faction. But actually, guys, I would say that's a good thing. Why do I say it's a good thing? Well, let's look out on the daily chart. When Bitcoin fell from $20,000, within the span of about a month and a half, we fell all the way to $6,000. Now, because we did that, Bitcoin was able to stage a gigantic bounce. Because what goes down must come up, it bounces. What goes up must come down, it bounces. But when Bitcoin goes down very quickly, normally it bounces much higher. As we can see over here, when Bitcoin fell from like $6,500 to $6,000, there wasn't a very big bounce. But if you fall all the way from $20,000, if you drop a ball off of a skyscraper, it's going to bounce higher than if you had to just let it go from your head level. The same thing is true with Bitcoin. The faster that the bears exhaust themselves, the faster the bulls can come in and swoop it up. Which means that if we do keep falling down to $6,000 or $6,400, we're probably going to bounce there. We're probably going to start a new uptrend that might last a few days, and hopefully that could build into something. Now, it's going to take a while for the bulls to be vindicated because we're so far below the yearly high, but the point is that if the bears are this strong, they can exhaust themselves very easily. They can get overextended very easily. That's what happened to the bulls on this run-up. They started running so fast that they got overextended. They didn't take it slow. The bears were taking it slow for 3 weeks here, and that's why they made so much progress. But now that they're speeding things up, they're going to have to be careful because they might get exhausted. And also, guys, one thing to remember is that the technical indicators are still in play here. On the daily chart, we're getting to be very overextended on the RSI. Guys, the RSI is sitting down here at 22. Let me ask you something. Are you looking to short this market right now or long this market right now? The time to short, and in my opinion, the last time to short was about $7,700. Unfortunately, I was out yesterday and I couldn't make that trade like I said I was going to. In yesterday's video, I talked about shorting this, and I would have been in a pretty good amount of profit right now had I done that, but there'll be more trades. Right now is a dangerous time to short, and the reason I say that is because we are very overextended on the RSI. Guys, Bitcoin might pull all the way down to $6,400, or it might bounce at $7,000. It's hard to tell. We've been in a downtrend for so long that if you bet with the trend is normally your friend right up until it ends. And the trend very well may be ending pretty soon, considering what the RSI is looking like, considering how diverged the MACD is getting, because when the MACD gets this diverged, normally it means that in a few days it's going to start converging on itself again, which signals bullishness. The point I'm trying to make, guys, is that if you're trying to trade this market, you need to be careful about shorting it. Because if you short this market, you're shorting very far into the trend. In my opinion, what would be the better idea right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this market, I'm going to learn as much as I can from this market, and then when we have a reversal, I'll be looking to long this market. I'm not trading this right now, especially considering Bitcoin is in uncharted waters, and it could really go just about anywhere. I'm thinking $6,400, but it could honestly bounce at 66, 68. Right now, Bitcoin has set a temporary bottom on what I can only imagine is an arbitrary level. I don't know where exactly we're getting support at $6,912. Maybe that's just the zone around 7 catching us. But you have to realize something, guys. A bottom is more than likely going to be set relatively soon. And until we break below $6,000, that's a shorting opportunity. But other than that, there's not really a good one right now. So be careful trading this. Nevertheless, guys, I've gone over a lot in this video. So let's try and bring it all in. Let's reel it all in and try to put a nice fancy bow on this conclusion. Bitcoin has fallen very quickly over the last 2 months. We rallied all the way to $10,400. We're trading at nearly half of that now. Top to bottom, we're down 35%. The first point to make, that I already made, but I'm going to say it again, is not to get fearful. It's not to FUD. If you guys are in the first cohort, a lot of you guys have joined. I love how fast we're growing over there. One of the things I drill into your head over there is the importance of not getting worked up over crashes, the importance of not fudding, the importance of not letting your emotions rule you, the importance of making sure you have a checklist before every trade. If you let your emotions control you, you're going to fail, because your emotions' goal is not to make money. Your emotions' goal is to not get hurt. And oftentimes when you're trying not to get hurt, that's when you get hurt. Think about that for a minute. Think about where that's happened in your life. I guarantee you it's happened to you. You try not to get hurt, and because you're trying not to get hurt, you got hurt. The same thing happens in trading. Don't let your emotions dictate what you do. Use your logic. So furthermore, now that we understand that, where's the bottom for Bitcoin? It could be right here at $7,000, guys. Bitcoin is getting overextended on the daily chart. The MACD is getting overextended as well. 7K is a big even. It's a little bit above 6. But in my opinion, guys, I feel like we're going to go to $6,000 to $6,400. As I said, the trend is your friend until it ends. Albeit this trend looks like it's getting relatively close to its end, because I don't think we're going to go below 6K. So be careful shorting this. That's the third point in this video, is be careful trading this, guys, because this could reverse at any time. The reason I'm saying be careful shorting this is the same reason I was saying be careful longing up here, and look at what happened. It's hard to tell whether or not I'm going to be right now because, you know, we don't have a crystal ball right in front of me and I can't see the future, but I can look at previous markets and I can say that I feel like where we are over here is somewhere right over here. We're getting close to the reversal, and it's dangerous to be shorting when we've already been in a downtrend for 5 or 6 months. Now's the time to be looking for a trend reversal and be putting in a very smart swing trade for the next several months if we do find a permanent bottom. So guys, that's the play I'm going for. I'm looking for a long-term swing trade with maybe 2 or 3x leverage that I can use over the next several months and hold. But until then, guys, I'm not shorting. I'm not trading this market. I'm going to learn as much as I can, and I hope you guys learned as much as you could from this video. If you guys did, consider subscribing. I would love to see you guys join us every single day here on the Crypto Jeb YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, guys, I would appreciate you hitting that like button. Helps out the channel and doesn't cost you anything. So thank you so much for doing that. If you did, if you didn't, that's all right. One last thing I want to mention, guys, is the first cohort. If you guys aren't already familiar, this is a $25 a month subscription-based service. I'll get the pricing right out of the way. I'm not going to wait until the end to tell you what it is. You're going to get access to these 8 videos. A 9th video has already been recorded and will be uploaded relatively soon. And you're also going to get access to our private Discord server for private chat with me and the other amazing people in our community. And you're also going to be getting access to signals. When I see something happening on Bitcoin, they're going to be the first to know about it. We're going to be doing private live streams after we grow a little bit bigger and it's harder to communicate with you guys one-on-one. And guys, I think we're going to have a lot of fun over there. I think we're going to learn a lot over there. So if you're interested, the link is down below. I'd love to see you join. If you're a member of CT2A, I'll give you a $25 rebate for the first month's fee in Bitcoin. Just shoot me an email and let me know that you joined with your Bitcoin address, and I'll shoot you $25 worth of Bitcoin. So the first month is basically free. Use it as a free trial. If you don't like it, you can cancel it anytime. So guys, that's that. That is this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Come in the comment section down below what you thought of the analysis. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I should add for tomorrow? What would you like to see in upcoming videos? Let's have a conversation in the Discord server and in the chat down below. But that is going to have to wrap it up for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always. And I will see you guys next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.